Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to another race of Ori and the Blind Forest. All skills, no out of bounds, no TA. Our next race is going to be between TheRooseIsLoose and Evooki, and joined with me for this one is going to be Zombie. How's it going, Zombie?
It is going pretty good, man. Good to be here. Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, me as well. I think this should be a really cool race. This actually was originally scheduled, I think, a week or two ago, but due to some time restraints, we had to reschedule it to tonight. So just alongside the rest of our huge block of Ori tonight. So do you want to talk a little bit about some of our runners and this group stage so far?
Yeah, so far in this group match, Sara Pass group, we've got what looks to be the only one that's done all three of their matches is Mr. Randomson. This will be Roose's last match, and he's sitting at 2-0 with the best race time of 33:11. So he's going to be really wanting to do as best he can here to finish with a solid 3-0 win-loss for this one. Evooki sitting at 0-1 can easily be making that up today as well with some good gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely. And Roose has actually already clinched the victory in this group stage, but another win here and a better race time could have some effect in the bracket stages. So looking at the most recent PB from Roose, he has a 32-13, which he got on the 3rd of February, and I know he was trying really hard to get that, so it's really good to see. He is going to be playing on keyboard and mouse, going for all your standard advanced tricks, the Grotto Cycle, Skip Clean Water, and Fast Stompless, and it looks like he will be ending the run with 6 HP, which is perfectly acceptable for a tournament-style race. And he has run multiple Final Fantasy games, as you can see here under our miscellaneous. And that last line, I'm all set with that. So if you want to tell us about Evooki.
Absolutely. Evooki's got a PB of 40 minutes, 17 seconds, which is really nice. A hybrid player, so he's going to be doing keyboard and mouse and controller. Odds are probably playing mostly controller with switching to keyboard and mouse for some of the finer tune details. Of course, going to be skipping Clean Water, much like a lot of the other runners in this tournament so far. Doing 1, 2, 3. So it looks like he's also going to be doing 6 HP as well. He's a veteran vanilla runner and has ran Shovel Knight at some point in time. We don't know what point, but at some point in time he ran it.
Great. It looks like we'll be getting started right here. And just a note, Evooki actually has an unrecorded 39-minute, 39-second PB as well. So bring that time down just a tad. So we should get started right now. All right. Exciting. So what's going to be happening in the beginning portion of our game here, Zombie?
So in the beginning, it is a fairly simple start. We've already got both players already doing the initial cutscene skip. Looks like Evooki just a little bit quicker to the trigger than Roose in this one. They're just going to be bunny hopping right on down to pick up Sign, our resident fairy light thing that allows them to shoot their little fireballs. So that's what they're going to be going right now. They're not jumping for joy here, as was stated earlier on in the day. This is actually one of the faster ways of movement until they get some of the more effective skills later on in the run.
Correct. Jumping will maintain a little bit of your forward momentum. So when possible, you want to jump as much as you can. And you'll notice we're having a little bit of a clever way to restream this from Evooki's side. So we're going to see some 16-bit action for this side, which I'm personally excited about. I think it looks really neat.
Oh yeah, I love a good retro style.
So picking up Sign here, our first skill of the game, like Zombie had talked on, is going to give us our auto attacking abilities, and we'll test that right now with what I like to call the Frankie Massacre.
Yep, 3 of them just lining up for the slaughter for you right here. All of them making quick work. Roose a little bit quicker to the trigger as they start their trek upwards to the wall jump skill. Now, at this point, though, they're going to you're going to see some little clever health management here. The goal is to get down to 1 hit point by the time they reach the door up here and get the 2 keys. Because there's a neat little trick where you can put the keys in, create a save, and then immediately die. And then as you respawn, the door will be open, so you don't have to wait for the rather slow door opening portion.
Correct. And what they're also doing during this time frame is managing their experience for a timed level up to gain an ability point, but more importantly for this specifically is cause an explosion which clears out some enemies, making our routing a little bit easier and less dangerous. So it looks like Roos was able to get his Ghost Door with 1 HP. Very good. And with just a slight lead. And I think he'll be moving up to this 4th HP. Yeah, he does.
Doing a little bit of quick zigzagging, dodging the Frankies, grabbing the 4th HP, and on we go. Now, another thing that all these runners have been doing is watching how much experience they get. Not only is killing these enemies a lot slower than just avoiding them, you also end up with a bit more experience than you really want to have. Reason for that being is as they come down here, or
it looks like Evooki actually missed that Ghost Door, unfortunately, but that's not going to be too big of a time loss, and they'll go straight up for this 4th HP as well. Sorry, continue your thought.
Oh, no, not a problem. As they're going down to get wall jump, or as they come back up, it really doesn't matter. They're going to be timing a level up, because whenever Ori levels up, it's kind of like he goes Super Saiyan, big old blast, everything goes crazy, and it deals a lot of damage to everything surrounding Ori. In this case, they time the level up just right in that corner that Roos just passed. Ori will do a level up blast. It will clear out all the brambles, allowing for a quicker climb back up out of here.
Absolutely. And Roos here picking up the wall jump ability, which does exactly what it sounds like. You can run and climb. Well, not so much climb, but a little bit of a wall run up on these walls. And I believe he did not level up on the way down, so we should see him sprout one of these flowers, collect a couple more experience, and cause that Super Saiyan explosion, as Zombie had said. And there it is. And clears out all those enemies.
And it looks like Evooki will be doing the level up on the way back up as well.
So just a slight lead here for Roos. There is a pretty big difference between these players' PB, so that's not all surprising. And as Roos moves in through this next section, he's making his way towards Blackroot Burrows, and Evooki on the right side does pick up wall jump.
Oh, Roos taking a quick death.
And a lead change just like that. Unreal. Okay, so this just got a lot more interesting. And they're both going to have to do this level up again. Or at least Roos will have to do it again. Evooki for the first time. It's really tough. These early deaths are so costly, especially from the start of the game to the wall jump tree, and then the wall jump tree over to the save anywhere at Blackroot Burrows. Those just, they can be really tough.
Especially since, you know, a lot of these runners don't worry too much about making safety saves this early in the game. Not to mention, you don't have a lot of energy to spare, and some of these tricks do require energy usage. So you want to be careful with your management of that resource.
Absolutely.
But it does appear that they are still staying pretty well in sync as they head down to Blackroot Burrows, which is the bane of a lot of people's runs. I know it's the bane of a lot of mine. A lot can go wrong down here. This place is dark. It's filled with hazards, laser beams that will one-hit you, spike pits that won't one-hit you, but might as well end the run in the same fashion. They're going to do a save anywhere trick here, where they're going to trick their ability tree to come up and still be able to move in the background, initiate the cutscene, choose an ability to level up, which saves your game instantly, quit, reload, and there we go. Bothersome cutscene skip, because who wants to watch cutscenes in a speedrun? I know I don't.
Nobody. We want to go fast. So just something to note, the experience routing is important, and it looks like both of our runners are actually going to be taking slightly different approaches to tackling this. Roos is going to be going by the slime genocide route, killing all these slimes, collecting all their experience, and skipping this 100 XP orb that Evooki will be collecting shortly. And what we're doing this for is we are going to be doing another timed level up here shortly to cause a pretty large sequence break. So Roos goes ahead, skips by that EXP orb. Evooki is going to do some clever wall jumping here to make it up to that said EXP orb. And nice job.
Absolutely. And the experience routing in all skills you don't have to worry about it nearly as much as some of the other runs, other categories rather. However, it is still important to try to manage it all the way through, because while the next trick they're going to be pulling off with their experience routing is very important, the other ones can be just as helpful in certain regards.
And just a quick note as well, no major mistakes coming from either of our racers here, but Roos, with just some better movement and more clean menuing, was able to take that lead right back. So just the subtleties of speed running, especially in a game like Ori, just really shown here.
And it looks like Roos gets the cycle here in Blackroot, and Evooki looking like they've got it set up pretty well as well. And they're going to be doing some quick jumping up top here. You see on Roos's side, flipping the switch to open up this statue, and you're going to be seeing another save anywhere exploit to skip yet another cutscene before they grab dash, which is a very fun skill in here. Lets them go fast.
And that's what we want to do in a speed run. Okay, so a little bit of a tricky jump there from Evooki. Doesn't really have to worry too much about that laser because he's leaving the little light orb on the platform, whereas Roos decided to take it a little bit quicker, but risk maybe getting killed by that laser. Both players able to not have to worry too much about that. And Roos will be coming up to this Frankie walk here, which was the sequence break that we were talking about earlier with the timed level up, collecting more experience from all these slimes, and moving right along. Oh, misses the flower jump a little bit. Not a big deal.
Yeah, negligible, more than likely. But this trick is very interesting. What's going to happen here is you're going to see on Roos's side, he aggroes that Frankie, comes down. He's just going to take him on a walk, hence why we call it the Frankie walk. And we're going to just go out here through this field, having a good time. Look at it. He's jumping. He's happy. And going to get by these brambles, take a little bit of damage, but getting to the other side. And he's going to get the Frankie within one hit of death. Now, coming up ahead is a 4 energy door. Energy doors require...
Oh, just interrupting you real quick. Evooki actually missed that dash glide on the right side, so you're gonna have to go ahead and restart or save and exit their game and try that again. That's not a huge time loss, but it's definitely substantial.
Absolutely. I've had that happen to me numerous times, and it is not fun.
Meanwhile, on the left, Roos was able to get that Frankie walk. No surprise there, and goes for the death glide. Takes a little bit of damage, but was able to save it. Oh, Evooki did make that jump. It's like unbelievable highlight reel slow motion for that. That was really cool, actually.
Yeah.
And Roos should be going for a small little cycle skip here for the grotto cycle. Setting it up now with the wall run. Oh, just barely missed that one.
Almost got that god cycle, but
it's not really a time loss. You just kind of lose the potential 8-second time save. That's the way I like to look at it. It's free to go for, so it's always worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
And setting up another ghost door here as we make our way down to the double jump tree. Going to weave through some of these spikes here, and there are some more dangers ahead. We have to dodge a slime and a Frankie, and neither of them like us very much. Able to do that expertly, though. Very good.
It's always kind of harrowing to do because due to you doing the ghost door, you only have 1 HP anyway. So any one of those obstacles is game over. Now he's doing blind movement right now. He did a save anywhere there to allow him to still continue to move while the cutscene was going on. And so all that madness that he had to get through to get there, he just went through it again in reverse without even being able to look at it. So that's a really neat trick to see.
And meanwhile, on the right, Evooki was able to get that Frankie walk and open that door, getting that sequence break. And now they need to move through this death gauntlet while Roos on the left is going for the grotto skip. And first try, very nice, awesome. Oh, Evooki takes a death. So they're all the way now back at the dash tree, and they're going to have to do that whole thing over again. Just having a really tough early game right now, but hopefully they can just shake it off. I mean, this happens to a lot of our runners. We've seen this, you know, through so many races so far. Just the early game seems to just really be so tough. There's just not a lot of room for error.
This is a speed run that can humble you pretty quickly as well. There's just so many ways to die in the game, and so many ways to end a good run. A run that could be going flawlessly can quickly take a 180.
So Roos here moving up the grotto walls, doing some ninja jumps. Wow, those look pretty cool. He picked up the water vein, which is going to give us our entry into the first dungeon, which is the Ginso tree, and we'll talk more on that as he gets a little bit closer. Meanwhile, let's watch Evooki here again, go for this Frankie walk and for the death gauntlet.
Looking good so far. He's got it down to low hit points and going to be making the wall jump here. Gets the kill, gets the energy, levels up, more energy. He's good to go.
Okay, now this is the scary part here, dodging this Froggy. Okay, good job. Just dodge this Crusher. Going for the... Oh, opts not to go for the Death Glide. Okay. That was probably a smart decision. Doesn't really save enough time to warrant it, especially considering how far behind Evooki is right now. Probably just wants to continue getting out of this section right now more than anything.
Roos takes a little bit of a hit from that big slime, so yeah, he's opting to push instead of pull. Most of the time, you'll see people pull that rock back as it is quicker. However, if you get hung up, take a little bit of damage, the cycle time is off, and at that point, it can be actually a little bit more beneficial to push it in instead of pull it out.
Yeah, and if you try too hard to mess with those cycles, those crushers do 2 damage each, and we only have... Our runners here have 4 HP each at this point, so taking 2 damage are... Well, 2 hits from those crushers will kill you and send you all the way back to where you picked up the water vein. And or actually, I suppose you do a safety save a little bit before that in the level up.
Oh, yeah. Roos is now in Ginso Tree. We're going to be climbing all the way up this tree. Well, not all the way up, to those who have played the vanilla game. But he is climbing mostly up the tree. I'm going to see a lot of interesting jumps and execution in here. I actually really like the Ginso Tree. I believe there is a lot of execution to this that some people may not realize.
And like we noted earlier, Evooki's had to be a little bit clever about how he's rebroadcasting this because he's having some pretty significant lag and PC issues. So he's effectively playing this game in slow motion or bullet time, and it seems to be happening at extremely inopportune moments. So just to overcome that hurdle, all things considered, Evooki's making his way right through this run just fine.
Oh, yes.
And Roos did take a quick death over in the Ginso Tree, but this lead is pretty substantial. Probably won't be too happy about it, but it wasn't the worst thing that could have happened.
And he's moving on up to the mini-boss, so first mini-boss in Ginso Tree. One of the few, in my opinion, RNG elements of this speed run. Can't quite tell where this little guy is going to pop up next. Well, you can if you're running the game in 60 FPS. It does show like a brief 1-frame flash before he shows up, so use that to your advantage.
That's correct. That takes some time to get used to. Definitely can help you manipulate, well, at least your positioning more so than anything to get the cycles as low as possible. And Evooki was able to get first try grotto skip. Really good job. And does a rekindle there to skip a cutscene. Normally, progressing through the section, we'd have a bunch of little boulders and rocks trying to murderify us. And that obviously makes it a lot more difficult to traverse these already difficult walls. So that's a pretty important one, and they did that just fine. As Roos moves up to Bash.
Yeah, Evooki didn't quite get that cutscene skip there, although of all the cutscenes to not get a skip on, this one's definitely not one of the worst ones.
That's my favorite one to miss. That is the best sound in any game ever. Unfortunately, I don't think we got the audio on it, but I can miss that and live with it. So what's Bash going to do for us here, Zombie?
So Bash is an ability that allows you to grab enemies, little lanterns, certain projectiles, and you kind of freeze time for a second as you aim, but you get to fire Ori off in a specific direction, and the projectile, or enemy as it were, will get fired off in the opposite direction. Now, one thing you may have noticed Roos do for a second, this is one big perk of keyboard and mouse, is he did what's known as a double bash, which requires a very quick series of inputs to allow you to bash something one way, rebash it, and move Ori in the same direction as the object being bashed. So Ori travels along with it, allowing him to continue to put the projectile on a series of bashes or just reach a higher location. And also what we've seen him do there is known as the key dupe. Collected 3 different keys, got fairly close to that door there, and was able to get the keys in and die with the keys still in the door. Reload the save. Hey, now he still has those 3 keys, but the keys have respawned, therefore he now has 7. That'll be important for later.
Another cool thing to note about the double bash too is it effectively allows you to juggle projectiles or enemies, which open up so many really cool movement options, but it is a very difficult trick to do. You literally have to bash and then release bash and then bash again the frame after. So it's not free, but it does open up a lot of really cool things, and you'll probably see some of that going into this next section here. Roos is going to be doing the swamp entry, manipulating a frog and the frog shot to break through terrain that we should not be able to break through from underneath.
Now, considering we just saw him... What's that?
Go ahead. No, that's all you.
I was going to say, considering we just saw him do a double bash, do you think he'll be doing the double bash version of the entry here?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that Roos does that in his normal run, so I think we'll see that here. Looks like he is setting up for that double bash, as Evooki does enter the Ginso tree here, but let's watch the swamp entry. Okay, fails the first shot. Gets a double bash in the second one, and is going to send that shot up, double bash to send himself up with it as well, and breaks that terrain, and he is through on a second attempt. That is very respectable. Good job from Roos there. Setting up for hyperspeed here with a save and exit. And he gets it. Very nice. And he's moving his way up to Stomp while Evooki is moving through this first room of Ginso Tree. Takes a little bit of damage, falls down to the bottom. Doesn't take a death, though, so that's okay. They can continue moving through here.
Roos opts to damage boost up the spikes to get up here to Stomp a little bit quicker.
I'm just going to wait for the shot. Bash it, take some damage, bash this lantern, and stomp down to make his way out of the swamp. And he's going to be playing with this frog one more time to get up to an ability cell, and we'll see how he decides to tackle that. I'm assuming he'll probably set it up on top and double bash as well, considering the double bashes we've already seen from him so far in the run.
And the frog gets to make my favorite noise in the game. Too.
The drum beat, it's very nice. Yeah, I enjoy that.
Oh, Evooki taking a little bit of a death there on that one spike. Bit of a tricky one there.
Yeah, these gamers are kind of a pain. You cannot kill them. They just go around in circles, and if you take damage from them, you get pushed in, an unpredictable direction, really, for the most part. So it can be hard to take damage and then recover from there, just like that happened again. They're just such a pain to deal with. So that room can be really, really tough, especially to try to do optimally.
Oh, yeah. And Roos did get the Kuro cutscene skip and is working his way now over to Charge Flame. Should be getting that fairly easily. I never knew you could break those blocks that way until I started speedrunning this game. You're supposed to use Charge Flame to destroy the blocks, but pretty much none of those blue barriers, they ever expect you to approach them from the right-hand side. So apparently if you just stomp them from the right, they break.
Yeah, I think there's just like a little lip of clippable terrain, I guess, that you actually stomp on, which causes the stomp damage to break those. Only from the right side, though. That's a really cool optimization. And Roos doing another save anywhere here to skip this really long cutscene and moving right along to a trick called Fast Stompless, which we'll see shortly here. And Evooki was able to make it up into this next room of the Ginso tree, making his way over to the mini boss, the first one.
Hopefully we'll see Evooki make short work of that. Now, in terms of Fast Stompless, I am still not quite sure on the specifics of that trick yet myself. So if you wouldn't mind, Sully, explaining what they're about to see here.
Oh, sure. Basically, Roos is just going to move up here, and we'll see when he gets on top. He's going to be specifically maneuvering a spider shot to shoot to the left and go over to the area where Kuro is sitting underneath some rocks. And what he does is actually shoot the shot, move fast to the right, unload some terrain, which causes the shot to shoot those rocks that we would normally stop, effectively allowing us to skip this cutscene. The shot looks good. Now he's moving over to the right to deload an area, and he needs to make it up to this ability cell before this shot hits. It was very close, and the shot did not go through. Okay, that's unfortunate, but he can go up and do this on a second try. It's not all that much slower. He does already have the ability cell, so no real worries about racing against time here. Just has to hit the shot. That looked good as well. Moving back over to the right.
And he gets it.
Very good. Second try. All right. Evooki Ghost Doors going over into Bash. And he'll be making his way through the rest of these minor Bash puzzles. As we see Roos picking up Glide here, and he will be going for his attempts at Sorrow Bash, which is, you know, objectively one of the hardest tricks in the game, especially for newer runners, which Roos is not, and neither is Evooki. So hopefully we can see this go pretty quickly. It looks like he is setting up for a double bash method on this as well. Okay, positioning looks good.
And away he goes.
Wow, that was really, really close. That feather at the bottom was so scary.
A little bit. He's going to rocket himself up into Sorrow Pass proper, as he's going to just essentially be working his way up using a series of tricks such as that one right there.
He missed the rocket jump though, so that's a waste of an energy. And he is going to he's going to grab this energy here and probably rocket jump off this slime. Doesn't get that either. That stinks. Okay, so he'll just float his way up to the top here.
We see Evooki also pulling off some double bashes there to direct that projectile to break the wall, giving him access up here to the key dupe area.
Roos setting up a ghost door and a save anywhere as he makes his way over to the charged up tree. And that's going to be very important for this next trick coming up, if you want to talk on that.
So this one is what is known as Terra Break. Now, he's going to be keeping his ability tree up to a save anywhere. So he has very, very poor visibility to get back through that labyrinth of spikes that got him here in the first place. These will easily kill you. I believe even with his health, he can take at most 2 hits. But he gets up here to this top area. You can see him there. He uses an ability, saves the game. Then he ends up going down and charge jumping up to kill himself while holding Feather and down. That's going to cause him to break through that barrier and give him access up here to where the Sunstone is. He's keeping the ability tree up because he also wants to save anywhere up here to avoid a cutscene.
And Evooki on the right making it to the final mini-boss of the Ginso tree. And once again, we will not be going for the Ginso escape because of the swamp entry method that we have now, that both of our runners will be going for by skipping the clean water.
And that does, however, create the interesting little conundrum, which we won't see until the end of the run, mind you. But in the final escape, there is a section of water that you normally have to swim through. It's still going to be poisoned because we've not done anything with the Ginso tree as far as finishing it out. So that's why they need to have at least 5 HP, both these runners opting for 6 instead, just for safety's sake, to get through that poisoned water.
Oh, did Evooki not get the teleport? It looks like he's moving back because I don't believe he has that teleport.
I believe he very well may have missed it.
Oh, that's tough. And meanwhile, on the left, Roos here is going to be just zooming his way through Misty. And this is just a showcase of all the skills that we've gotten so far in the game. Oh, wow. Those stomp cancels are just so slick.
Oh, yeah. This is why this is hands down my favorite area of the game, even though I am nowhere near this level of skill that we're seeing right now. So I don't get to enjoy it for myself, but I love watching people get through here.
Evooki took a death on the right, but had a good safety save, so not a huge deal. And he will be setting up for his swamp entry here, so let's see how that goes.
He looks like he's opting to do it the controller method, the non-debash method, where he's going to be launching this one up, himself up, and then there we go.
Nice. First try, very good.
Smooth.
So Evooki makes his way over to Stomp. Roos is going to make his way over to Climb. And this is the second to last ability of the game. By itself, not really too noteworthy, but when combined with our last skill, we'll see some shenanigans a little bit later on. right, gonna send this frog up, do a rocket jump, bash off of that Frankie over to this keystone. Another series of C dashes or charge dashes with stomp cancels. Very good movement.
Definitely. I mean, a little bit of a fall there at the end, but still, it's just flying through here.
Evooki was able to pick up stomp without too much trouble, and he'll be making his way out of this section on his way over to the Kuro cutscene skip as well. Oh, a little bit of a hiccup there from Roos, but he was able to save it by bashing that lantern. So smart move there.
Oh, and Evooki gonna take a little bit of a death there, setting him back a little bit. Grand scheme of things, not one of the
went for the
deaths.
meatball rocket jump by Roos on the left, but did take damage from one of those meatballs. Luckily, he has 4 health here. It looks like
he's got 1 health left, so he's got 4 health at this point.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Went for the quick kill, wasn't able to get it, so he'll just charge jump and probably bash into these or stomp. Oh, he takes a death. Luckily, okay, has a safety save. So maybe we'll get to see this meatball rocket jump again, which is one of my favorite tricks in the whole game. Oh, he takes damage again. That's so spooky. That is a hard rocket jump.
But it also does give him yet another chance to attempt this clean kill here.
Very good. That's all. You know, he just really, he wasn't happy with missing that rocket jump and missing the quick kill. So he said, you know what? Let's go do that again. I can do this.
And it looks like Evooki used the backup strats to get that one ability cell that you normally have to use the drumming frog to get. But he's just going to go ahead and head towards Kuro's skip, which I didn't get to go over with Roos. But what we're seeing here, but he doesn't quite get it. It looked like what's that called when the bash goes just the wrong way on controller?
Trash bash.
Yeah, where it decided, nope, you want to go this way, but we're gonna make you go this way. It's unfortunate. Cost him the cutscene skip, but it's not an incredibly long cutscene.
No, not at all. And Roos will be making his way over to the grenade tree, which is our last ability of the game, and showcasing a series of really nice movement here to try to avoid certain cycles of this laser. So you'll see there are 2 insta-kill lasers here that he needs to navigate through, and his movement so far looks good. Looks like he will be able to make this early cycle. He's going to go for it. It's really close. Oh, very good. Very, very good. That's a little scary. That is definitely.
He's gonna kiss the wall a little bit there.
Let's see how he does this. Some double bash with the bird. Okay. Nice. There you go. Nice.
Good comeback here. Nice
I like it. Yep.
Looks like Evooki's having some issue doing a double bash.
He's definitely trying to double bash that shot over, but not quite landing the inputs for it. Okay.
There we
wow.
go.
Nice. It's one way to do it, I guess. That was interesting.
Certainly. And Roos is going to be making his way out, pulling a little Indiana. Oh, very, very nice rocket jump there.
Nice rocket jumps. 2 in a row. Those are really, really nice.
Doing his best Indiana Jones impersonation here as he gets out of Blackroot for good. He picked up his 5th health cell there. Now, they said they're doing 6, so I believe the last one they're doing is in Hero Fields. I believe I remember both of them had that in their list in the beginning. So they'll be grabbing that and moving on towards Hero Escape.
Roos a little low on energy there, so opts not to do the rocket jump. He's going to pick some more up here for more charge dashes. And he is going to pick up, this will be his final health cell. All right, navigating away from these elementals, trying not to take any damage, and okay, I thought he was gonna maybe set up for that grenade jump. Evooki moving right along as well, going towards our glide section or fast stomps that we referred to earlier. And let's see Roos here doing a frame perfect trick called Door Warp, trying to warp to the very back of this dungeon, and you basically, upon it loading the game, you need to press up or enter on the frame that the game loads.
And he gets it first try. Beautiful. Very nice.
So this is going to be some pretty intense section of movement. The idea here is to not take any damage, because we need to swim through the poison water like we were speaking about earlier in order to get to this final escape, where we're going to swim through that water, try to avoid spawning Kuro so that we can set up for a grenade jump, which is going to skip half of the last cutscene of the game, and that will result in a finish run. So far so good. Really good movement.
Looks like Evooki is opting not to do fast stopless and is just going to continue on up.
All right, fish looks good. And he does have a little bit of, Roos has a little bit of leeway here with that 6th energy, or health cell rather. Does not activate Kuro, that's good. And now just one final trick.
His positioning looks good. Let's see how he does. Oh, not the first try. There we go, and no soft line. Very good.
Very good. So we'll get that final time on Roos in just about a minute here. And congratulations to him. Now we can focus our attention on Evooki and the rest of this run. It's going to be exciting still. But really, really good showcase from Roos.
Oh, absolutely. Evooki here is going to be picking up their glide ability and moving on up to do Sorrow Bash next.
And this will put Roos at 3-0. Does not improve his best race time, but that's okay. He still had a pretty good race time as a buffer anyway, and going 3-0 helps quite a bit. So we'll have final time. That is time. We'll get the official time here in just a second. And it's going to be a 34-23. Really good. Great job, Roos.
Evooki attempting to do the rocket jump off of the green frogs, which is, to be fair, a little bit more difficult. Having a bit of trouble with it.
Now, just keep in mind, everybody that's watching, and how slow motion this really looks. That's exactly what Evooki's seeing on his screen as well. So just imagine trying to play the game like that. That's tough.
I couldn't do it.
Good. Nice rocket jump.
Very nice indeed. I'm trying to envision him doing this Sorrow Bash here with the frame rate as it is, and I would be terrified.
Now, did he pick up that 5th health cell by the spiders? I didn't catch that.
He did not.
Okay, so he doesn't have a lot of room for error here.
Oh.
He's a little low and takes some damage off those spikes, which will kill him. He only has 4 HP. They do, well, 4 damage. This is already a hard enough trick, so never mind all the troubles he's having on his end with the computer.
Looks like positioning's good. Oh, it's a little bit low. Opting to double bash out of it, and
oh no! Oh, that was so close.
That was all right. That was also really slick. I was really rooting for him on that one.
Take our gigahertz, Evooki. You need them.
When I get pulled into interview, I'll probably need to pause
on there. Okay. Setup looks pretty good so far. Oh, no. She's taking too much damage.
As Sully said earlier, this is definitely considered to be one of the most difficult tricks in the speed run in terms of how many button presses you have to press over such a short period of time. And the thing is, all the runners, their muscle memory and the way they think about it is to hit them in the rapid fire succession that you have to. In this case, given the bit of a slower input time,
this is looking good so far. Oh no, that bash just sent him in a bad direction. That's no good. Yeah, I think anybody that's run this game has gotten to this point and just sat at this trick for a long time. It is that hard. So when we see people just go through it on first try, it's really easy to take it for granted. But this is not an easy trick, and I gotta give a lot of respect to Evooki for doing it with these conditions as well. Okay, going for another double bash. Kills the bird. There's just so many different things that can go wrong with this trick.
Yeah, and sadly, all of them seem to be happening to Evooki at this point in time. It is not easy I mean, it's probably really easy to sit back and go, well, do this, and this. Well, it's really not in the execution of it, especially given what we're looking at here.
Yeah, and our Victor Roos in chat actually bring up a really good point that I actually totally overlooked, is that Evooki's doing all these double bashes on a controller, which is just exponentially harder. So just a really, really good showcase here of the ability to do that.
I did not realize he was doing double bashes on controller. That is insane.
Okay, going for the double bird bait. Oh, I mean, he is just narrowly missing these. They're so close each time. Is this the one?
Yes!
There we go. All right.
There we go.
Good job, Evooki. Just powering through that and nails it. Please take a safety save.
He saved on the ledge right before the bird. So it's his safety save's a bit early, but it's there.
I would have taken that as soon as possible too, so I get that.
He started to drop there. I think he felt like that he may have rocket jumped too late for the projectile to hit the roof, but it did. So off he went.
As Evooki makes his way up through this cave, we're going to have Roos in for an interview, I believe, so stand by for that.
Oh, having a bit of a rough time there with the spikes. And Evooki makes it on to the charge jump. Forgot what skill that was for a second.
Yeah, we have Roos, the victor of this race, with us. Hey, congratulations on the race, Roos. That was really impressive. How are you feeling after that one, man?
I'm definitely glad to walk away with the win. I don't necessarily think I performed as well as I could have, given a lot of sloppy mistakes. But any given run of Ori, there's just no way to know what's going to happen. And went on a couple of interesting adventures today, so really pretty happy with it overall.
Yeah, well, I mean, every run's unique. Sometimes for the better, sometimes a little bit for the worse. But I mean, you should definitely walk away happy. You go 3-0 in the group stages. Are you going to be making any changes to how you're tackling these races going into the brackets?
Yeah, quite a bit actually. This last week, I have not had a whole lot of spare time. I'm a full-time student, full-time work, as well as full-time speedrunner, so I didn't have a ton of time to put into the game this week. And so what I have been doing is a lot of like individual segment practice, and what I want to do is like continue to do that until the brackets start and really kind of like iron out some of my movement and improve sort of the strats I'm going for.
I gotta interrupt you for just 1 second there. I'm sorry. It looks like Evooki had to load a backup save, and that actually put him all the way back at Sarabash again.
Yeah, because what had happened was it looked like he did his save anywhere, maybe either a little bit too low or a little bit too far off to the left, and he wasn't pulling off the terror break. So,
oh, that's unfortunate. And that was the closest save that the game was going to give him for a backup. So he'll be making his way through this section again. That's tough. Okay, so you said you were doing some individual segment practice.
Yeah, basically TLDR, lots of individual segments, and like carefully analyzing runs from really good players like Wilson, Elo, Ronnie, Lucy, Hydra, that whole crew, and like trying to incorporate what they do and improve the way I'm playing.
Yeah, I think that's a really smart idea. For any of our newer runners, myself included, just emulating people that are better than you and seeing where you can make improvements, just going back and looking at how you're playing versus how somebody else is playing, because it's really easy to overlook small kind of optimizations that you're not doing that other players are. So that's really smart, and I think you'll definitely get some really good dividends out of that. So gonna wish you luck going into the bracket stages. Really good performance by you today, Roos. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again, man. Oh, and let's see here. I believe in you, Evooki. Come on.
Oh, Evooki just double bashed his way all the way up there. All right.
He was having none of it. Good job.
That's crazy. The amount of double bashing that he's doing on a controller. It's just like, why? Oh, it's so good.
And why not?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, gonna go for this rocket jump. That way we can get this frog shot all the way up to break the wall. Or I guess ceiling, whatever you want to call it. Picking up some extra energy here. Probably going to go for another rocket jump. No, I'm just going to decide to float up. Maybe he wants to just opt for some more safety saves, which is understandable considering what just happened. Okay, picking up that energy cell. That's a little bit spooky too.
Given what we're seeing, I would be terrified too. But at the same time, he also needs that skill point to pull off the save anywhere that he needs to do.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're going to need 2 ability points moving forward here. One's going to be for the Terror Break that we talked about just a little bit earlier, and then one's going to be for the Sunstone cutscene skip. So we do need 2. That level up is required. Makes a backup of that file this time.
Better safe than sorry.
That's awesome.
I cannot blame him one bit for that.
No, not at all. When he went back to menu, I was wondering what he was doing there, but it all makes sense. All right, so he's going to set up for this tower break again, and he wants to get... I don't think he wanted to do that. Is he back at the... Okay, he's all the way back at the tree now. Oh, you can rekindle that save there when you're setting up the save anywhere. It doesn't look like maybe he missed the input or just forgot, but he'll be making his way back through and setting that up again. All right. Charge jump up to the top. floating at the top. He's going to allocate a point and take a death while charge jumping, which is going to carry over some of the damage, which actually breaks through the ceiling. Good job.
And
there
he
we
gets
go.
it. Fantastic.
We got to be a little bit careful. There are some insta-kill lasers here as well. Seems to be a reoccurring theme. And he does have that one ability point ready to go for this cutscene skip coming up.
Heading up here to the Sunstone, and we'll see him do that other save anywhere, and then off to Misty Woods with him.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Evooki goes about tackling this section as well. All right, dodging through those kill lasers. Doesn't opt to rekindle there for a save, which he could have. And making his way back through this section that we were spending so much time in earlier.
Down through the elbow, and off he goes. Opting
Nice
to do
meteor
the
kick.
Meteor kick. Love that. Still hasn't done a safety save yet, I don't believe.
Probably feeling pretty confident, though. You can still take one hit here in Misty. Maybe wants to just save it for after this first keystone.
Yeah, and the movement I'm seeing here in Misty is excellent so far.
Oh, absolutely. Sets up for the rocket jump there. Very good. Still no damage taken, so moving just fine.
Yeah, very, very adept movement that we're seeing here in Misty.
He's a madman. He's an absolute madman. Still
Absolutely.
no saves. Oh, that was kind of close. Okay. Scaring me.
He's still not doing it. Like he's like, you know what?
He's fine. This is fine. Okay. Looks like some lag is striking again, this is not a good time for it. Takes a safety save. I think probably noticed that lag. I was like, okay, I'm done messing around with this.
Especially in this area right here where you really don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I'm really glad he took that safety save regardless. I mean, even though you do get the save at the tree coming up here, it's just there was no reason not to. You don't need to have a ton of energy going through this last section. You can still move through it very easily with one, and I'm pretty sure he had a couple. All right, very good. And grabbing climb, second to last ability that we're going to be collecting for the all skills category. And moving through this latter part of Misty. See some really cool movement here as well, I'm assuming. Okay. Gonna try to avoid damage from these falling slime. Is able to do so. Sends this Baneling off to his death. Very cool. And should set up this frog for another rocket jump.
Oh, he kills the frog, sadly.
So he'll go through this the intended route. Not a huge issue. And bashing and maintaining momentum from the bash on that Frankie there gets over to this keystone. Another safety save. Good decision. All right, and then we're going to be navigating through this little area of insta-kill lasers, which actually change. Every time you jump, they alternate. So you have to be very careful about when you choose to jump.
Yeah, he missed that platform there. Ended up in the spikes, but that was a very nice last-minute save.
And we'll just bear with us through these technical difficulties real quick. I'm sure we'll get this refresh in just a second. Okay, well, it looks like at some point there was a death taken, but that safety save paying off, and we're going to move right back into these strange little insta-kill lasers. Okay, nice charge jump.
And now he's up on the musical flowers.
Yeah, I really like that. That honestly is stuck in my head, that sound bit all the time.
This slime right here has been the bane of my existence. He gets through it without any effort at all.
Yeah, he could be a jerk. He can fall down, damage you, like boost you backward.
Oh
no.
Took a tumble into the
That might have been a trash bash there. It looks like because
yeah.
he was trying to bash off that lantern, and it looks like he kind of just went straight down into the spikes. That's tough to save. Okay, let's see how he deals with this slime again. Good, catches him and doesn't worry too much about taking damage. All right, grabs this lantern. Good angle on the bash. Awesome. Moving over, and I expect he'll pick up this energy crystal and keystone here and take another safety save.
I would also be surprised if he didn't.
And he didn't.
I am surprised.
Maybe over here on this left side?
Nope.
No? Okay. Well, just moving right along then.
He is a very busy person with very important places to be. He has no time for such things.
All right, makes his way up through the meatball area there and takes a save. Okay, there you go. Well, that's a good one. And making his way towards this last mini boss of Misty. I'm hoping for a nice quick kill too. Let's see. He's setting it up with charge flame, so he's going to kill each one of these individually. And one stomp should do. There you go. Good job. Okay.
I don't believe he got a level up there, though, did he?
I don't think so. We'll see if he flashes UI. He did. It looks like he just needs a little bit more experience. He needs one ability point moving forward. I'm not sure if he already has that. Okay, there he goes. Picks up an orb up there. There you go. That's a good decision. Takes a level up, gets the ability point in order to skip a cutscene coming up here just before we get to the grenade tree. He's going to be making his way out of Misty now, back towards Blackroot Burrows, which was the second area that we visited. This time we'll be going to the lower half. So we'll see where he decides to set up the save anywhere. I would imagine he'll just navigate through these lasers and set it up once he gets by the actual cutscene trigger, as opposed to doing a long save anywhere. Doesn't save all that much time to do it the long way. Takes an intentional death here.
That's going to trick the door to staying open. And off he goes. Let's see if he can get a single cycle down here.
He's going to wait this one out. That's understandable with the lag.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be really, really fast to make these cycles anyway, so it's not worth risking at this point. All right, nice charge jump. Oh, another kiss to the wall. The Baneling's coming. Oh my god. He wanted blood.
That was scary.
I hate those things so much. Just absolute wrecking balls of death. Okay, walking into the cutscene here, allocates the point, and needs to exit. Very good, okay.
That bird was still harassing him a little bit, but he made it through.
All right, so we are picking up Grenade, and like we spoke about earlier, the combination of Grenade and Climb will allow us to do what we call a rocket jump, which is a really cool trick that we'll most likely be seeing as the last trick of the run. Unless maybe Evooki throw some flavor in here. But so far, just electing to go the traditional way. Oh, misses the dash glide. So what he's trying to do there is actually dash and then jump to maintain the quick momentum of dash to skip over that cutscene area, which actually causes us to walk very slow.
Saves you a decent little bit of time.
Yeah, definitely worth doing. Okay, nice. Good movement out of this area, so not having too much trouble. See if they take a save. No, he's going to just keep going. Like you said, he's a busy man. He's got stuff to do. Ooh, that was a little spooky. Okay.
Nice
So
little
kinda
back up there.
for that boulder to go away from him. He was done with all that nonsense and said, let's just carry on, pick up this HP, and move to one of the last sections of the game. And we know he does have this teleporter, so this time not a worry.
Absolutely. He just got to get through these little pendulums, make his way into Horror Fields.
Yeah, and he'll be shortly approaching his attempts at the door warp as well. And I'm pretty sure most controller players, they just tap it once, right? There's no real spamming. Unless they're playing hybrid, I guess. Because a lot of our players, what they'll do is put it on the scroll wheel and hope to catch it on the first frame. But I think that's a lot more difficult to do accurately on a controller.
Yeah, he's going to grab this extra health here. That's going to put him at the 6, I do believe.
Yes. 6 health here, breaking through this door, trying to bash off of one of this elemental shots. Moving right along, very good. And another Baneling. And he just sends him off to the back. He's coming back. Oh, okay. Good job.
And he flies like a bullet off to the entrance. Let's see how he does with the entry trick.
All right, let's get some take energy for Evooki here for the door up and escape, please.
Give him.
He definitely needs some love. Okay, game autosaves here, so we will save and exit. And here it comes. Let's see. 1/60th of a second to get this right, and it's lagging, so that can't make it any easier.
Oh, definitely not.
Okay. Oh, that's so strange. It's just a really bad time to have lag.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
I mean, you have to have some real mental fortitude to continue going through and playing the way Evooki is. I would just be absolutely frustrated beyond all belief at this point. So maintaining poise and just continuing on.
He gets major props from me on that one.
Oh, absolutely.
For those that are watching and are not entirely familiar with exactly how this works, it is the very first frame of when the game is loaded. You press up, and then it will teleport you down to the end of the dungeon. So it's the very first frame.
This is tough.
And with him having this lag, I'm sure one thing you may have noticed, as he's loading in, sometimes his load is shorter, sometimes his load is longer. So in essence, he doesn't know when he needs to push it. He's more than likely he is spamming the key input, and he gets it. Yes.
Awesome job. All things considered, that was only a 10th try.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely not bad at all.
For the circumstances, that was amazing. Kicking off here. He's heading on down to start it off. Let's see how he does.
All right, and once again, all things that we spoke about earlier when Bruce was navigating through this section apply here. the water is still poison. We cannot take damage. And we need to move pretty quickly too, because if we take too long in any one of these particular sections, Kuro will actually just come over and scoop us up and make us restart the whole section over. So you need to go fast, but you need to be careful. So it's a balancing act. And it looks like Evooki's just tackling through it flawlessly. Very good job from him.
Yeah, pushing on through. He's got the water section to deal with here. He has 6 HP, so I got nothing but big faith he'll be able to pull it off. And he does.
Great job.
Correspond skip, avoids that big boulder, and here he is. He's going to be pulling off the grenade jump now.
Okay. Another one-frame trick. And you have to be very careful about your positioning here, because it is possible to soft lock on this trick.
If you're too high or too low, it will soft lock, and you have to do the entirety of the escape over.
Oh, so close.
His positioning looks good. It's just a matter. This is also a frame perfect trick. He has to throw the grenade and then hit the charge jump within 1 frame of each other. Not at the same time, within 1 frame.
Right. So 2 inputs spaced out by 1/60th of a second. I bet that sounds hard. Yep.
Yeah.
It is hard. It is very hard. And doing it on a controller, I can't even imagine it. It's just like, I have so much respect for controller players. You guys are the best. I can't do it.
And the lag rears its ugly head, but he's going to persevere. He's not going to give up and just slow walk his way there. He's going to get this. He's adamant about it.
He wants it. He wants it. Oh, looks good. Nice, dude. All right.
Yes.
Congratulations, Evooki. Great job. Man, I know everybody was rooting for him, so it's good to see him finally get that. That's awesome. Really good job.
Absolutely. Let's see some GGs and a whole lot of love.
Lots of GGs and love
for Evooki pushing through and getting this all the way to the bitter end.
Yeah, you got to be just a very special person to be able to come through and complete a run in that time with everything going against you. I mean, your computer hates you, obviously, and it was just not overall the greatest time to pick up those lag spikes, but you know, he pushed through and ends up finishing here. Well, and the little Naru hops, very cool.
Yep.
And we'll get his final time here in just a second. Looks like it's going to be a 1 hour, 5 minute, and 6 seconds. So really, really good. Great job from both our runners. Congratulations to Roos and Evooki. That was awesome to watch. I know it must have been frustrating, but we were excited and we were right here alongside you, man. So good job.
Yeah.
All right. So we will be moving into our next match here very shortly. It's not going to be a very long intermission at all. So stand by, because we'll get that kicked off very soon. And it looks like we're going to have Smashy up against Cleanfell. And on commentary with you guys for that match is going to be Lurking Assassin and TheRooseIsLoose, our victor from the last match. So stand by, everybody. After a short intermission, we'll get that kicked off. Thank you again, Zombie, for commentating with me. That was really fun. And thanks to our guys behind the scenes, stats, clips, all the production team. You guys are absolutely amazing. And this has been a great tournament so far. Looking forward to more of the action.
Absolutely. Everything he said. Thank you, Sully. Thank you, guys. You all have an amazing night. Keep watching the fun right here.